This is a special edition of Late Night Health. I'm Mark Allen. We are at Expo West in Anaheim, California. I've been coming here for over 20 years. The last couple of years, they haven't had it because of COVID and the pandemic. But I'm with one of my favorite people right next to me, Karen Howard, from the Organic and Natural Health Association. I may have gotten that right. And we have a young man that you're going to introduce us to.
I do. I have a new friend in my life that I'm very honored to be able to spend time with, by the name of Brian Terry, who's with Nordic Naturals and is partnering with me to raise money for the fund.
And the fund is the Williams. Thank you. The Williams Franklin Foundation. And the idea of this is to help men and women of minorities get into natural health.
Right. So the foundation itself was created to support HBCU students who oftentimes people are raising money for first dollar tuition, and these are really last dollars. So these are dollars that go to students who are at risk of perhaps having to drop out because they don't have all the funding that they need. And I think that plays a really vital role in terms of what we're able to provide. And it seems somewhat inconsequential when you talk about entirety of your academic career and what it costs, but $2,000 means a lot for a student. And I mean,
$2,000 right now? It won't even fill up a tank of gas here in California, right?
Yeah.
Brian, tell us your story, your backstory, before you joined Nordic Naturals.
So I went to school at Xavier University of Louisiana. I did internship program with Walgreens corporate office, worked in purchasing, store operations, project management. I eventually left there, but through some of the connections that I met at Walgreens, I met the executive vice president that worked at Renew Life, which was a vitamin supplement digestive care company. And that's how I found my way into the natural products industry. I had no idea about natural products industry as a whole. So from there, I ended up working at Renew Life, and then eventually now at Nordic Naturals over the past 4 years.
Wow. And what do you do at Nordic Naturals?
Director of Sales, oversee food, drug, mass, e-tail, as well as pet divisions. So work with everything from Whole Foods to Vitamin Shop to Target and CVS as well.
You're the rainmaker.
We have a great team that we work with as a whole. We started really small, and we've had a great run over the past several years.
That's great. Why are you so involved and interested in the Williams Franklin Foundation?
I'm interested because a few years ago I was at Expo West, and I was always focused on just kind of doing my job, focused on what it was that I wanted to accomplish. And while looking around, I also didn't really notice anyone that looked like me in the process. And that was something that really, I said, wow, this industry has done so much for me, so much for my career. Maybe there's a way to, how do we reach out? How do we find this connectivity to a place in which I think that it can do a lot of good, but also we can provide a lot of value. And because HBCU students is a prime hub for a lot of the African American students, or black students as a whole, that are in the workforce. And for me, that became a really big passion project of mine, of how do we expand the diversity in this entire industry. Because
diversity any place, in my way of thinking, and I know you agree with me, Karen, is something that we all need to strive for. Why is organic and natural involved?
So we, with the pandemic, and we, as you well know, and so do your listeners, we do a lot of work in the vitamin D arena.
Right.
And so when the pandemic hit, and the African American community in particular is being devastated by the disease and the outcomes of that, and already suffering at a disproportionate rate for the underlying circumstances that we believe result in that severity of COVID, we retooled our entire messaging to reach out to the black community and did the Get On My Level campaign. So we were already very aware of the extreme needs for the education and the outreach, and very committed to that. And Dr. Red Cross was the most amazing spokesperson for that effort. So it was almost like a natural segue in terms of what else could we do. And I stumbled upon the foundation through my friends at boot camp. My boot camp is probably 85% African American, and was able to participate in a couple of the fundraisers. And with DC literally on fire,
Yeah.
it just became, it's a situation where you're either going to succumb to depression, or if you're me, you're going to find a way to reframe that and do something positive out of it. And I completely changed the way I donated dollars and the kinds of efforts that I wanted to support, and brought this to the board. And they actively supported it and have been very engaged since day one.
We've had a website up throughout our interview right now, and that's the Williams Franklin Foundation, and you can donate and help these kids learn about and get opportunities in the natural products arena. I really appreciate you guys being here. Just one last thing, Brian, could you tell a short story about, both of your parents went to school, and I guess you didn't know exactly what to do? Is that?
So both of my parents went to Vanderbilt. Their incoming class had 25 black people. While they were in school, they shared with me some of the things that they went through during that time, as being such a very small minority of the school population. And while I was thinking about my career, I didn't really want to go through that. What they also did was they told me they spent a lot of time at some of the adjacent HBCUs, such as Meharry, which is, has a medical school, things like that, as well as Tennessee State, and talked about how much more they felt as that being part of the community. So when I was doing my research of where I wanted to attend, I found a school that connected with me. And then the things that I found to be important, such as being able to relate with people, being able to communicate, being able to work hard, those were the things that I wanted to lay my foundation in regards to receiving a great education. And I found that with Xavier University of Louisiana, and those were the character traits. They had a joint program for MBA with Tulane and things like that. So if you can connect with people, you can work in any industry, and that is why I felt like this is something that we can do. Because all these industries, when I was at Walgreens, there were all these different industries, General Mills, that have, different groups, right? Mm-hmm. They have, HBCU groups. Well, the HBCU group, while University of Texas or University of Florida might have 50,000 graduates, the HBCU at schools, they functioned as one alumni association. Mm-hmm. at like a Walgreens, and we were all connected with each other. And it functioned as one big, large alumni association, and we would reach out and we would help each other as one big network. So
that's terrific. We didn't describe what the initials stand for.
Historically Black colleges and universities.
Got it. That's what
That's
we needed
important.
to.
Yeah.
That is important.
That's important.
Listen, thank you both very much. Brian, I look forward to chatting with you more throughout the years.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be here. Thank you so much.
That's good.
Thank you, Mark.
And Karen is going to be on our sister program. Mark Allen cooks your dinner. Oh, do you cook?
Not well.
Oh, okay. Well, then you need to watch. Okay. I'm Mark Allen. This is Late Night Health.